Chapter 23. As you can see, I'm in another place in the classroom. Chapter 23. How to be a head teacher handbook. The whole class was standing in the playground. And then the whole school was standing in the playground. By the whole school, I mean every single pupil. And by standing in the playground, I mean standing at one end of the playground. At the other end were the teachers. In the middle was Mr. Carter. As you know, Mr. Carter is actually a 10-year-old boy, because a 10-year-old boy's in his body, with a referee's whistle round his neck. Right, said Mr. Carter. It's time to play British Bulldog. Oh dear, said Miss Wang. I thought it might be, said Miss Finch. Hooray, said Miss Gerard and fell over. Teachers versus pupils, obviously, shouted Mr. Carter. The teachers, who were severely outnumbered, gulped. You know the rules. Each side has to get as many people to the other end as possible, and each side has to try to stop the other person doing that by any means necessary. Excuse me, said Mr. Barrington. Yes, don't call me Bummington, please. Okay. Is that fair, sir? There were a lot more of them. Yes, but you're bigger. Well, said Mr. Barrington uncertainly, looking over at the other children. Some of them were stretched and limbering up in anticipation. I don't know about that. The Gruffalo certainly is. Who's he talking about, said Miss Finch. But hey, said Mr. Carter, I thought about that. I've come up with a way of making this game of British Bulldog a bit different, which might help. He put the silver whistle hanging around his neck and his mouth and blew loudly, at which point Scarlet and Sterling suddenly appeared, one on each side of the playground. Sterling stood in front of the teachers holding a box. Scarlet stood in front of the children with a similar box. Aye, babies, I mean Scarlet and Sterling, thank you for your help. Now here's how this works. When the boxes are open, something will come out of each of them. The thing is your captain, your leader. No one is allowed to go further ahead than that thing. All team members must stay behind the thing that is in the box. Who is going to be your captain? Everyone, teachers, pupils, frowned. But Mr. Carter raised an arm. The game begins on the whistle, at which point Scarlet and Sterling will open their boxes. So, he blew hard on his whistle. Sterling opened the box, out of which came Benny the tortoise. You might remember Benny from the start of the story. And when I read that chapter, I had my own tortoise, fascinating. Scarlet opened her box, out of which came Bionita the tortoise. Benny stood still. Bionita stuck her long neck out, looked around and very slowly moved forward. Come on, team, shouted Mr. Carter. Go for it. British tortoise. Go for what? Shouted Eddystone. Follow your captain. In fact, make like your captain. With that, Mr. Carter started doing an impression of a tortoise. He bent over low, stuck both his arms out, crooked his neck out, and moved in a slow motion, putting his head side to side, while sticking his head out, and he's looking for pieces of lettuce. Everyone looked on amazed. It has to be said, an action that most people, pupils and teachers, would have found in the How to Be a Head Teacher handbook, if such exists. So you wouldn't have found it in there. Come on, he shouted in a deep, croaky voice. One would have to assume to be tortoise-like. And gradually the children, Barry Bennett, Jake, Lucas, Ty, Ellie and Fred Stone, Isla and Morris Fawcett, Scarlett and Sterling and Malcolm Bailey, who seemed for some reason particularly good at it, all started copying and walk like a tortoise. Come on, teachers, hey, said Mr. Carter. Now on all fours, tortoise towards the other side or you'll lose. Mr. Barrington looked at Miss Finch, who looked at Miss Gerard, who looked at Miss Wang, who shrugged, put her head down, stuck out her crutches, started moving. Got a great picture here. So that is the teachers following the tortoise. And that is the children. There's that tortoise as well. They all started walking like a tortoise. It worked pretty well, actually, because tortoises move a little bit like they're on crutches all the time.